Shavua Tov, everybody. Welcome to the Ahavas Yisroel. Special thank you to Chickens for Shabbos, Rabbi Newman, Warren F. from the Queen Jewish Community Council, the Chazaq organization for helping co-sponsor tonight's event. Thank you very much to the Shul, Mark Finkel, Rabbi Welcher, and the others for opening up its doors. I was asked to announce that the Shul will be having a special Shabbos Shuva Drasha with Ben Chilin Sheikh for women only at 4:10 p.m. So I was asked to make that announcement. We will be having a community-wide Erev Rosh Hashana event. Details will be obviously advertised everywhere. I believe the speaker will be Rabbi Morah from the Yeshiva Orach Chaim. Details will be advertised and emailed and flyers, etc. We will also be possibly having other world-renowned speakers. You will be notified about that. Just stay tuned. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to call upon Rabbi Shaul Arieli, the Mar Dasser of Congregation. Thank you. Rabbi Arieli, sure.
First of all, Shavua Tov, Gute Woche. And I would like to acknowledge and say thank you to Mr. Morah and Mr. Rabbi Newman and the organization Chazaq to organize this evening. And this evening is achanot, preparing ourselves to Yemei Adin, Rosh Hashana and Yom Kippurim. Why I'm saying a special thank you to you, I'll tell you why. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter used to say in his time, Rabbi Yisrael Salanter, when Chodesh Elul came, when the Chazan, Shabbos Mevorchim, he used to say Rosh Chodesh Elul, everyone felt already the Chodesh Elul, and they felt how they should prepare themselves for Yemei Adin. So Salanter says, Milfanim, years before, early years, people used to feel the Chodesh Elul. Earlier, the time of the Chazan used to say, Rosh Chodesh Elul yeh b'yom hazeh v'hazeh. In his time, Rabbi Salanter said people did not feel the Chodesh Elul. Only they got closer and closer to Rosh Hashana, Yom Kippur, they felt something got to be done for Yemei Adin. So, my thank you and appreciation to Chazaq organization. Now, 3 weeks before Rosh Hashana, you feel the Chodesh Elul, and you feel that something got to be done to prepare, how to prepare ourselves for Yemei Adin. So, therefore, in order to prepare ourselves, so there's a few points what should be done before Yemei Adin, before Rosh Hashana, before Yom Kippurim. Obviously, there's a davar pashut, tefillah. Tefillah, I'm not going to talk about tefillah. The power of tefillah, koach tefillah. Yes, of course, tefillah is one of the first things that should be done. How to prepare ourselves before Rosh Hashana. Not to speak about tefillah because I believe previous speakers before me, they spoke about the koach tefillah. But I would like to touch one important point, and that's very, very important, how to prepare ourselves for Yemei Adin. First of all, I would like to begin with a beautiful story, and this story happened with one of the Rosh Yeshivas in Europe. You heard about Rabbi Hershel. Rabbi Hershel, I don't know his last name, but he was the founder of the yeshivas in Novardik. All over Europe, and every shtetl in Europe used to be a Novardik yeshiva. The founder of this yeshiva was Rabbi Hershel. Rabbi Hershel used to have a minhag, the same as we have. Twice, 2 months out of the year, the yeshivas here in America, going to the Catskills and they're spending this summer over there, they're learning. And the same thing used to be in Europe too. It was a summer resort, and the Rosh Yeshiva with his Talmidim used to spend the summer over there. That was the minhag that time. The last day of the summer, so Rabbi Hershel went into his room, to the bungalow, and he took off his mezuzah. And who was around him? The Talmidim were around him, and he saw how he's taking off the mezuzah. When he took off the mezuzah and he opened the mezuzah, it became white, black, blue, red. So the Talmidim said to Rabbi Hershel, Rebbe, what happened? Could we help you? He said to them, never mind, we'll talk about it. Everything is okay. That's what Rabbi Hershel said to his Talmidim. Shabbos later, it was already the Shabbos of Chodesh Elul. So they came to yeshiva, and the minhag in yeshivas that time, the Rosh Yeshiva, or the Mashgiach, used to say a Musa Shmuas when? In the time of Shalosh Udas. So he said, Shmuas, he said, Divrei Yisraelos for Chodesh Elul. And he said, You remember, a week ago, I took off the mezuzah, and I took different colors. And you said to me, Rabbi, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. And I took off the mezuzah, and I opened the mezuzah. I found the mezuzah, a hole in the mezuzah. And I want to tell you, my dear Talmidim, my minhag was every summer, I said, this mezuzah was the best quality in mezuzah. The mezuzah was written by Sefer Yerushalayim. The ksav was beautiful ksav. A mezuzah mehuderet, he said to them. But I found one little hole in this mezuzah, and this mezuzah became possible. And happened to be, you know why? Every year, I knocked the mezuzah, the nail, so the nail went straight. Happened to be, in the beginning of the summer, the nail down and made a hole in the mezuzah. He said to them, Rabbi Sai, we think that we mehuder. We think that we perfect. We think we shomer Torah mitzvahs. We're learning Torah. We makpid on kashrus. We makpid on Chol Yisroel and everything. But every one of us is a little hole, and we have to correct ourselves. This little hole makes us puzzle too. Rabbi Sai, that was the word of Rabbi Hershel, the founder of Yeshivas Madrigas Ha'odom of Ladakh. But I would like to add something else. A mezuzah, you should know, according to halacha, you found a hole in the mezuzah, never be fixed. The mezuzah can never be kosher. No way how to kosher the mezuzah. But if we have a hole in ourselves, it's possible to kosher ourselves, possible to purify ourselves, and possible to prepare ourselves to Yemei Adin for Rosh Hashana Yom Kippur. Human is differently than a mezuzah. A mezuzah, the minute became puzzle, the psulis were heavy, but not the human. Rabbi Hershel Welcher used to say, I'm not a tzaddik, he said. I made many, many avers during the year, but the Kadosh Baruch Hu did a chesed with me. Says the Rabbi Hershel Welcher. Now, he gave us Chodesh Elul. Chodesh Elul, this short time, is a chance and opportunity to turn our personality and our image to become different people. Miyemei Chodesh Elul. And it's merumos, it says a Shloah Kodesh. Chodesh Elul, the Rosh Teves, you know the Rosh Teves, famous Rosh Teves? Ani ledodi, v'dodi li. That's the Rosh Teves. Says the Shloah. At the end of every word, which letter appears in the end of every word? Yud. And how many times? 4 times. So 4 times, Yud 4 times Yud is 40 days. 40 days, we have a chance and opportunity to prepare ourselves, to correct ourselves. And how, Rabbi Sai? There is another abbreviation to the word of Elul. You know what's the abbreviation? Elul, of course, ani ledodi v'dodi li. But ish l're'eyu matonet le'evyonim. Ish l're'eyu u'matonet le'evyonim. Aleph is ish, lamed l're'eyu, and then vav u'matonot, and then le'evyonim. Says the Rabbi Yoina. If ish l're'eyu u'matonet le'evyonim means we have to do something, which that's the way how to prepare ourselves, the midah of chesed. Doing chesed, said the Sharachuva, the Rabbi Yoina, says the Rabbi Yoina is mehapech, means turn over the personality of the person. Ubizman muet, in a short time in Chodesh Elul, it's possible to make a mapecha in the life of a person, the derachim of a person, the ways of a person. Only in this short time you have the opportunity to do it. So let's focus on the midah of a chesed. Midah of a chesed, right? And what is the midah of a chesed? Soon I'll bring some sources from the Gemara and Midrashim about what is chesed, what is the essence of chesed. Meantime, I saw the Michtav Eliyahu from our Dessler Zecher Tzadik Levracha. This is a very interesting observation. It says before Kabbalas HaTorah, why Klal Yisrael? There was Zeicha for Kabbalas HaTorah. It says in the pasuk, "O nukulam kulam keachad nase v'nishma." Says our Dessler, if we, Klal Yisrael, would say nishma without nase, so the Kadosh Baruch Hu would not give the Torah to Klal Yisrael. Shmiya, just to listen, and not nase, no asiyah, no kiyum mitzvahs, absolutely not. The Kadosh Baruch Hu would not give the Torah to Klal Yisrael. Only because Klal Yisrael said, In addition to nishma, naaseh, asiyah. Asiyah makes a person a different person. Must be asiyah. Without asiyah, the Torah will not, Kodesh Baruch Hu will not give the Torah to Klal Yisrael. Naaseh v'nishma. I found also interesting Shla Kodesh. Shla Kodesh learns very interesting pshat in the Gemara in the Sifta Rosh Hashana. The Kodesh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, the Rosh Hashana Daf Yud Gimel, he showed him the Seder Atfilah. And what does it mean, the Seder Atfilah, the order of Tfilah? The midas of the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Keil, Rachum, V'chanun, Yitzhak Chesed, etc., etc. The most important thing in the beginning, it says Rachum V'chanun. So the Gemara tells us the Kodesh Baruch Hu took a talus, and he walked himself with that talus, and he made himself like a shliach tzibur. So the Kodesh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Sheklal Yisrael, Im Yechtu Yisrael, Yasu Keseder Hazeh, V'ani Moichel Lahem. Yasu Keseder Hazeh means to adopt minor midas. The midah of Rachum and the midah of Chanun, etc. And then the Kodesh Baruch Hu will forgive Klal Yisrael. So, says the Shla Kodesh, what it says in this Gemara. What the Kodesh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu. He said to him, Yomru Rachum v'Chanun. He did not say Yomru Chanun v'Chanun. He said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Im Yasu Keseder Hazeh. If Klal Yisrael Yasu, they will adopt the midah of Rachamim, the midah of Chen, the midah of Chesed, then the Kodesh Baruch Hu will forgive Klal Yisrael. So we see, just to say or just to listen, that's not enough. You have to do asiyah, amaseh. Without asiyah, it's worthless. And without asiyah, will not accept the Torah, receive the Torah, and also the Kodesh Baruch Hu will not forgive Klal Yisrael only by words. Amira, asiyah is very important. That's the introduction to the midah of Rachamim, the midah of Chesed, which is very important to adopt this midah, the midah of Chesed. So I would like to elaborate more and more the midah of Chesed, which Chesed, saying all the Mefarshim, Chesed means Rachamim, compassion. Chesed means mercy. The midah of Rachamim is so important to use this midah of Rachamim, to have the midah of Rachamim now. The time we should prepare ourselves before Yemei Adin. I'll read over to you what the Mesilas Yesharim tells us about the midah of Rachamim, the midah of Chesed, which is Rachamim. So I'll read over a few words from Mesilas Yesharim. U'mishem merachem ve'oseh Chesed im abrios, and when he says ve'yomim oelu, right? So gam bedino. V'dino min shamayim, so yerachamu ve'yimchelu la'avono yisov. You see the power of Chesed, compassion. What the Mesilas Yesharim tells us is so important. The midah of Rachamim. If you're using the midah of Rachamim, so the Kodesh Baruch Hu moichel la'avono yisov. And the truth is, there's a Gemara in Masechta Shabbos Daf Kuf Nun Aleph. The Gemara says in Masechta Shabbos, Kol hameracham al habrios. If you have this midah of Rachamim, so definitely the Kodesh Baruch Hu will not ignore this midah of Rachamim. The Kodesh Baruch Hu will show himself the midah of Rachamim, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu will moichel la'avono yisov. Not only Rabbi Yisai, the Mesilas Yesharim, the Chidah, and also the Mishnah Berurah. The Mishnah Berurah, not in Chofetz Chaim, not in Shmiras HaLashon, in Mishnah Berurah and Hilchos Yom HaKippurim. I'll read over to you what the Mishnah Berurah said about the midah of Rachamim. First, the Chidah. Says the Chidah, Beyomim Eilu, Yemei Adin, Oso Anu Mevakshim, Rachamim Lifnei Elokeinu. The most important thing which we're looking for is the Yemei Adin, and now, Chodesh Elul, he said the midah of Rachamim. And the Kodesh Baruch Hu himself, he has the midah of Rachamim, Umerachem ki yarba lislach. Lochem, tzrichim lerachem al anim, kedi sheHaKodesh Baruch Hu yirachem aleinu. Now, Chodesh Elul, days before Yemei Adin, we have to use this midah of Rachamim to show compassion to Aniyim, kedi sheHaKodesh Baruch Hu yirachem aleinu. And now let me call the Mishnah Berurah. Mishnah Berurah in Hilchos Yom HaKippurim says, Tzorich la'asok gam b'chesed v'lerachem al habrios v'avur zeh. And because of the midah of Chesed, because of Rachamim, yechuper avonoseinu v'yirachamu olo min hashamayim lo hoisif lo chaim arichus yomim. The Kodesh Baruch Hu B'richus Yomim, the Bracha B'richus Yomim, because of the midah of Chesed, the midah of Rachamim. Now, few stories about the midah of Rachamim. How great and the power is the midah of Rachamim, mercy or compassion from a medrash. Not long ago, those who are sitting here, many rather sitting over here, we learned Daf Yomi. Not long ago, we learned Masechta Tanis. And Masechta Tanis, the Gemara tells us what should be done in time of Atziras Gshamim. Chodesh Cheshvan came already in Eretz Yisrael. In no way, throughout in Eretz Yisrael, what should be done? So the Gemara tells us the Seder, the order, what should be done according to Halacha in the time of Da'at. So first of all, the Gemara tells us in the beginning, we have to daven, there's a certain feelers, and the Gemara says, it palalu v'loi ne'endo, they did daven. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu did not listen to the tefillah, did not accept the tefillah of Israel at that time. So what should be done? The next move? Next move is what? Fasting. Sometimes Monday and Thursday, sometimes we have to extend that, other days, that's what the Gemara tells us. So the Medrash Tanchuma, in the Sefer Bereshis, Medrash tells us a story about in the Tkufa, on the time of Rabbi Tanchuma. In the time of Rabbi Tanchuma, also was a drought, no Geshem at all. So Rabbi Tanchuma and his Chaverim and his Tanaim, they came out with this, the halacha, to daven and also to fast. They did daven and they fasted, and no Geshem at all, not at all. Kadosh Baruch Hu seems like did not accept that tefillah at that time. Meantime, Rabbi Tanchuma was sitting in his Beis Medrash, and a couple of people came, Talmidim came over to the Beis Medrash, and he said to Rabbi Tanchuma, Rabbi, we saw this person, a person, divorced his wife a few years ago. He gave you money in the middle of the street. And of course, it's not right to give the ex-wife in public X amount of money. Rabbi, we feel that he did the wrong thing. So Rabbi Tanchuma told them, you know what, call them in, and I'll clarify exactly what happened. So they called them, and he came to this Medrash, and he met Rabbi Tanchuma. Rabbi Tanchuma asked them, it's true that we have evidence that you gave money to your ex-wife? It's not the right derech. He said to him, Rabbi, from the time I found out, from the time that I got divorced, this woman, she didn't have what to eat. Became a poor lady, nothing. And I met her today for the first time, years after the divorce, and she told her condition. So right away, I took money, and I gave her to help her. Tanchuma got up, and says the matter, so Tanchuma said, and he's down to the Rebbeinu Shalom. The Rebbeinu Shalom. This person, the relation between him and his ex bad, right? But still, he had the midah of Rachmanes, and he gave you money in order to support yourself. Rebbeinu Shalom. You Rachum, you Chanan, don't you have Rachmanes on Klal Yisrael? Use the midah of Rachamim of Tanchuma, down to Rebbeinu Shalom. Yad, says the Medrash, Yoduk Shamim. We see the koyach for individual to merachem, so compassion and help and do the chesed, how the Kadosh Baruch Hu is listening and Kadosh Baruch Hu is watching the midah of chesed. That's one example from a medrash. Another example, and now I saw, you heard probably the Alter Mekelem. Alter Mekelem, they used to call him the Zayde, the Sabbath from Kelem. He's one of the founders of the Yeshiva Kelem in Europe. And you missed a lot. You got to ask them. Chazor, you got to ask them. So he was, first of all, one of the Talmidim of Rabbi Yisrael Salanter. He was famous in Europe, Kelem Yeshiva. He has a very interesting shaila. Last week we learned the Parsha of Eglah Rufa. Parsha of Eglah Rufa, at the end of the Parsha, the Torah tells us, Ve'amru ziknei year. After bringing the Eglah Rufa, they should say a few words. Yodeinu le'shavchu esadam. We're innocent, we're pure, we have nothing to do with this killing. That's what the Torah tells us. So Rashi brings the Gemara Masechta Saita. How it's possible? Why? They should say Yodeinu le'shavchu esadam. Of course, we cannot accuse them. Did they kill him? Definitely not. So how come they should come with such a statement and to say in public, Yodeinu lo yishafchu Saddam? So Rashi brings the Gemara in Masechet Saita. And he said, of course, they did not kill him, but they did not treat him right. They're supposed to give him a place to sleep. They're supposed to give him a meal, right? And they ignored him. They didn't do anything. So, therefore, they're saying, Yodeinu lo yishafchu Saddam. So, the Alta Mekelem Shaile. Even though they did not treat him right, they did not give them a hotel, they did not give him a room to sleep, no meals, right? So, still they consider Rotzchem. So, why you should say, you should come out with these statements, Yodeinu lo yishafchu Saddam. Listen what the Alta Mekelem says. He says, human nature is, when he comes to a community, to a neighborhood, comes from far away, and comes by himself, without friends, nothing. When people treat him right, the hospitality is great, a place to sleep, and giving them meals, so you're elevating the person. The person is in a good mood, and he's strong, he's a different person. But the minute he comes to a neighborhood, and people ignoring him, no meal, no place to sleep, he's losing himself. He's not the same as he was before. What happened? He left town, he met the Rotzeach. He couldn't fight against the Rotzeach. Even though he's a strong person, physically he's strong, but he cannot fight. You know why? Because he feels I'm a different person. The way how they acted with me means I'm not a mensch anymore, and he lost strength, he lost power to fight. So who's the one that caused it? The Bezdin, Zikna here. And therefore they're saying, Yodeinu lo yishafchu Saddam. They didn't show no compassion, not the meat of Rachamim. So that's like mamish killing. And therefore they should say, Yodeinu lo yishafchu Saddam. So I have two sources from a Medrash and a Parsha of Gurag Larufo. How powerful is the midah of Rachamim, mercy. Me, myself, seems to me, of course, if you see a poor person, you're doing a chesed, you're giving a meal, you're giving money to help him, right? Of course, it's great. But in addition to this Rachamim, it seems to me, the way how I learn Pshat in a Medrash, very interesting Medrash. And the Medrash tells you the essence of Rachamim. And I'll tell you what's the Medrash. The Medrash tells us about Avraham Avinu. When a poor person left Avraham Avinu, or a businessman left Avraham Avinu after having a business deal with Avraham Avinu, says the Medrash with his Lashon, Na'aseh leBirya Chadasha. He became a completely different person. So Avraham Avinu, not only he gave the dollar to a poor person, not only he finished the deal, he had a deal with the person and finished the deal. No, he elevated the person. He used to shmuz and talk to every poor person. Of course, I know that you need some money to live, right? But you're looking to elevate a person. Such a person that is looking for money, of course, is a tzibbochana person, right? Avraham Avinu gave him a different feeling. He made him for a Birya Chadasha, a businessman also. He came to do business with Avraham Avinu. Sometimes you don't know for sure to do it or not to do it, but he gave him such a tremendous chizuk, Avraham Avinu. Ad kedei kach, says the Medrash, Avraham Avinu made him a Birya Chadasha, a new person. Seems to me, Rabbi Isai, of course, the midah of chesed is great. You're elevating the person, and that's the way how to do the chesed, to merachem, in order to make a new person, a Birya Chadasha. But the one, not only the recipient, the one that gives the money, the one who is doing the chesed, he himself becomes a Birya Chadasha. He's a new person. And that's what the Rambam tells us in Chotshuva. In Hilchot Tshuva says the Rambam, you have to purify yourself, right? Until you become a different person, not the same as before. So chesed and rachamim is changing the personality of a person. He becomes a Birya Chadasha, and that's the way how we should prepare ourselves to the Yom Adin, to follow the derech shel Avraham Avinu, to elevate people, elevate the poor, give them a good feeling, at kedei kach, we become a Birya Chadasha. Until now, Rabbi Isai, I spoke, and I'm saying things for every individual. How to prepare ourselves and to mechazek ourselves in the midah of Rachamim, the midah of Chesed. And now, in a different aspect, I would like to talk about something else. For the cloud not only for every individual, for the cloud too. What I'm trying to say, Rabbi Isai, the last 2 months, or more, 3 months, the matzav in Eretz Yisrael, I don't have to tell you. People are suffering in Eretz Yisrael. The time for the 3 yeshiva bochim were killed. And then, a milchama in Gaza, and this milchama was not an easy milchama. Until today, even though it's a ceasefire, we cannot imagine what's going on in the south of Eretz Yisrael. People in such a trauma, and they live in such a pachad, we cannot imagine. Kids, children, we cannot talk straight, and they're doing other things. They cannot function in schools. Why? Because the pachad, what they went through in the last 50 days in Eretz Yisrael. But not only that. We are feeling in Eretz Yisrael, and not only in Eretz Yisrael, but kol ha'olam kuloi, in time of Golus. And what I'm trying to say in time of Golus, we're suffering a lot. The Medrash compares Klal Yisrael to a kivsot, to a little sheep, ben shivim ze'evim, between 70 wolves. Every nation today, they have only one idea against Jews, and especially in Eretz Yisrael, to destroy Jews in Eretz Yisrael, Klal Yisrael in Eretz Yisrael, Lav Dafka in Eretz Yisrael, all over Rabbi Isai. We're going through terrible, terrible matzav. Rabbi Isai, the only way Klal Yisrael, the Jews, will exist and will survive, we have to Chazaq ourselves with limud HaTorah. Without limud HaTorah, definitely there's no future for Klal Yisrael. I'll give you a simple example. Before the war, how many Jews lived where in Russia? 3 million Jews in Russia. And nobody from them, I could say, okay, no one knew from Yiddishkeit Bechlal. Why? There was no Torah in Russia before the war. Why? Because of what the communists did to Jews in Russia. 3 million Jews before the war in Russia. Take Italy, for example. Italy was Makom HaTorah. Ir Balei Chachomim Sofrim. What happened? No yeshivas in Italy, no Judaism. Of course, you have a minyan here, a minyan here. And French also, the same thing in France, with beautiful Jewish community, but no yeshivas, no Makom Torah. So, the future of Jews bad in Russia, in Italy, and also in France. What happened, what was here in America until 7 years ago, before the war? How many yeshivas he used to have in every town? I believe only in New York, I feel not Lakewood, not in Baltimore, not in other places. But after the war, the Chassidic movement came to America. The Litvish movement came to America. The Daily Yisrael came to the United States and established yeshivas all over the United States. Baruch Hashem, we have a yeshiva every place in the United States. And Judaism is blooming over here, right? Pricha, not fully blooming, right? Only because we have Torah here in Eretz Yisrael, and also in America here. And I wish also Mekaymes Torah in other places. Rabbi Isai, I'm not here to criticize you. Chas v'sholom. It's not my nature, and again, I'm not criticizing. Chesed in our neighborhood, I would say, top. We have this beautiful organization, Chicken for Shabbos. We have Tomche Shabbos. We have Bikur Cholim. We have Atzola. So, isn't it beautiful, the Chesed, which we have in our neighborhood? Torah in our neighborhood, Baruch Hashem. Every mismedrash, you have Shihurim, you have Kriyasitim LaTorah, there is a lot of Torah in our neighborhood. So I'm not criticizing you, Rabbi Isai. But now, Yemei Adin, 40 days before, from Rosh Hashana until Yom Kippur, there's time and opportunity to mechazek ourselves in these beautiful two things, the midah of Chesed and also the limud HaTorah. And just one, me myself, when I'm putting a certain topic, I like to go to the source. And the source, of course, the Torah and Tanakh. And I want to show you how important it is. There's limud HaTorah, ki chayecha v'orech yomecha. And without Torah, we cannot survive. Only for one smart and chashuv woman. And this woman appears in Tanakh, in Sefer Shmuel. In Sefer Shmuel was done about the death of Eli HaKohen, the Kohen Gadol, that time in Mishkan Shiloh, and his 2 sons, Chofni and Pinchas. And not only that, the Plishtim took away the Aron Bris Hashem, Ki Nishbo Aron Hashem. The wife of Pinchas, she found out about the death of your husband. In the same time, she gave birth. So your girlfriends came to her, they said to her, they tried to comfort her. Ha! You have a son now. This son will be a successor of your husband, successor of his Zayde Eli Kohen. You know what this woman said to her? Yes, normally a son is a successor. But you know what? When there is Torah. No Torah. Go lo covered me Yisrael, she said, this smart lady. Go lo covered me Yisrael kenishba Aron Hashem. No Torah. Who took away the Torah? Who took away the Aron Hashem? The Plishtim. So there is no Torah. Nobody could be the successor of my husband and Eli Kohen. So the divrei nechumim, the comfort, which what the girlfriends of this woman said to her, was worthless. She was looking only for the future of Klal Yisrael. Future of Klal Yisrael only, and there is a Torah of Klal Yisrael. That's the observation of this smart little woman. So therefore, Rabbi say, Chizuk in Limud Torah, and also Chizuk for in Chesed. Chesed and Chizuk is for ourselves, and Limud Torah for the Klal. I would like to finish since I mentioned Sefer Shmuel. About this Choshev woman, the wife of Pinchas, I would like to speak about another Choshev woman, Chana. The Meiri, one of the Rishonim, one of the Meforshim and Shas, he wrote a special Sefer on Tshuva. And the name of the Sefer, Chibur HaTshuva LaRabbeinu Meiri. When he begins to speak about Tshuva, says the Meiri, Le'oilo, forever, a person should not be miyush, do not give up doing tshuva. Sometimes a person says to himself, yes, I'm doing this averos and this averos, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu will not listen to me. Kadosh Baruch Hu will not accept my tshuva. What do I have to get involved in tshuva? So says the Meireh, it's the biggest chet to be miyush from tshuva. Do never give up. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu always will accept the tshuva. I'm learning how bad is losing yourself and be miyush and to give up, you know, from who? From another great woman, Chana. Chana, it says in the Pasuk, when she came to Mishkan Shiloh, in the time of Eli HaKohen, he was a spiritual leader at that time, Eli HaKohen, the Kohen Gadol. She davened for who? For your child, for a child. It says in the Pasuk that Chana was mispalel and Tefillah was kolol lo yishama in a quiet way. While she was davening, her husband Shmuel Elkanah came over to her and he said to her, Chana, lama tifki, how come you crying? And why do you have to mispalel? Aloi toivani lach me'asar banim. I am good for you, right? Like 10 children. So stop davening. It's not necessary to continue. I am like 10 children. Rabbi say, I'm pretty sure Elkanah was a great person. He was the leader in his time. And Elkanah did mispalel for a child. But came to a point that Elkanah stopped. He gave up. He was miyuish. And he said to her, don't give up already, do not mispalel. So she, Lechana, did not give up. And she davened and davened. She never was miyuish. And Kadosh Baruch Hu did accept his tefillah. Why? Yush is the worst thing. Say this in the Yireh. Yush, you cannot do tshuva. Why? Because whatever tshuva by your miyuish, do not give up. This is the worst thing. And I believe, Rabbi Isai, we're reading the first Haftarah, the first day of Rosh Hashana, the whole story about the birth of Shmuel, the tefillah of Chana. You know why? Because there is a message in the Haftarah. Do not be miyuish. Comes Rosh Hashana, comes Yom Kippur. Try to correct yourself. Try to purify yourself. And of course, we mentioned before how to correct ourselves. To never give up. And we're learning from who? From Chana. Chana never gave up, right? So we should not give up. And therefore, that's the reason why we're reading the Haftarah of Chana on the first day of Rosh Hashana. Boisai, there is a pasuk in Parshas Eikev. Mo Hashem Elokecha dorosh mimcha. And it says in the end of the pasuk that Achis Hashana should be Kereshis Hashana. The end of the year should be like the beginning of the year. So the Yismach Moshe says a very interesting observation. Achis Hashana, during the end of the year, Chodesh Elul, should be like a Shish Hashana. Shish Hashana means beginning of the year, Chodesh Tishrei. Everyone feels comfortable. Everyone feels that what? I'm pure. No chatoim, because Kadosh Baruch Hu gave Baruch al Kol Klal Yisrael, al Kol Avenes Yisrael. So the Kadosh Baruch Hu said to us, Achris Hashana should be like Rosh Hashana. So my tefillah and my bakasha, Achris Hashana now, in the entire year, should be like the beginning of the year. And the Satmar Rebbe, Olav Shalom, the Satmar Chazaq said to me, the way how the Yismach Moshe, his grandfather, learned Pshat in the Pasuk, so he learned Pshat. He said, next week, Beis HaKnesses, Ahavas Yisroel, should try to change the Kedusha from Nusach Ashkenaz to Nusach Sfarad. The Kedusha of Nusach Sfarad, it says, V'yui goleinu shenis achris gereshis. When is going to be the Gehula Shniya? When the Achris, the end of the Shana, will be like the Rosh Hashana. A good year, Aksir v'Tzimur HaToiva, and try to mechazek ourselves, compassion and rachamim, and a good tevach.
Shkach, Rabbi Arieli, thank you very much for those inspiring, uplifting words. At this time, we're going to ask Rabbi Malinsky from Shevach High School. What we do with all these events is that every event we have a different institution that we, have an appeal for. So we're going to have Rabbi Malinsky from Shevach just say a few quick words about the yeshiva.
B'shus the Morah Rabbi Welcher Shlita and Rabbi Arieli Shlita. It's been truly an inspiration what's been going on in the community the last few weeks. What Chazaq and Chicken for Shabbos have turned destruction into tremendous growth, Hisayrus, and building achdus in the community through Torah Tefillah and Gemilas Chasadim. It's a zechus as the executive director of Shevach, the only girls Beis Yaakov High School in Queens, to stand here, and we're grateful that Chickens for Shabbos has joined together and allowed any donations that are collected tonight, any proceeds to go to Shevach. And I hope that together we can all partner to continue the growth of the community and all the Maises HaTorah through our Tefillah, Torah Tefillah, and Gemilas Chasadim, and your support. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much. Rabbi Malinsky, we're going to be putting the two baskets in the two sides, right, Rabbi Malinsky? Yes. You'll put that over there. We're going to ask from the Rav of the shul, maybe we'll have one kapit of Tehillim, one or two kapit of Tehillims that we're going to read. Just one last announcement. We have the Chazaq dinner coming up September 15th. You have the invitations right in front of you. Please come show your support any way you can. Rabbi Welcher, is it okay we have the Rav say a kapit of Tehillim? The Rav will choose whichever one. Yes.
Beis maskele David Yisai Amoros Vila maskele David Yisai Kaile Eladina Yisa Kaile Eladina Yestano Kaile Eladina Yisa Shpaich Lechonom Sichi Sorosim Lechonom Agir Satei volai ruchi, viato yudat rusi vosi, voirachzu aleich tomru fachli. Habeit yomil rei, vein li makir, avad manois mimeni, ein doreish lenafshi. Habeit yomil rei, vein li makir, זעקתי אליך אדוני, אמרתי אותו מחסי חלקי בארץ החיים. הקשיב רינוסי כי דלוי סימאי, דצילני ולאי דפאי כי ימצאו ממני. הוציאה ממזכר נפשי, לא ידעיס אשמך, ויחתירו צדיקים, כי סגמוי לו לא. אחינו גבי ישרול, אנשנו גם עצמם היום השם עובדים רחם, ימים ונשימו יצאנו ברחם
Shkachman, thank you very much for coming. Have a great Shabbat Tov to everyone.